Okay, I can't hear you for some reason. Oh, you're muted. Gonna
Can
unmute.
you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. All right, welcome everyone. There's a little bit of echo here, so let me just check and see why that is. All right. So, okay. Are you able to hear me? Okay, Bethany?
I can hear you. Can you hear me or am I echoey?
Yeah, I can hear you, but it is echoey as well. Both of us. I guess
You're kind of
maybe,
hoppy with your voice.
okay, let's see here. I'm not too sure the reason for that. Maybe I hide the vertical one. Let's see here. Hey, everyone, and welcome to Business Freedom and Legacy Summit 2026. And I'm not sure why there's an echo. I'm not sure if other people can hear that. Maybe live and normal. Do you have any suggestions regarding? Let's see here. Is it echoing on your side, Bethany?
It's not echoing on my side.
Oh,
It's not echo. It's like a choppy.
a little bit choppy. Okay, so let's see here. Oh, I know why. I'm in there twice. Okay. All right. Hi, everyone. It's Thursday, July 30th, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 noon Eastern Time. And I welcome you guys to the Business Freedom and Legacy Summit 2026. And I have a special guest here, Bethany, who's going to be speaking about a lot of different things regarding what we're talking about on this subject of the business freedom and legacy. So my whole mission and vision and calling in this world is to bring freedom and legacy to my clients and everyone that I touch in this event and throughout this world. I want to bring healing and a good impact in this world, and for everyone who wants to do that to get paid well for that. Because so many people do it out of the kindness and goodness of their heart that they don't necessarily get paid well for that because they want to do service first, which we've all done. We've all done that service first and wanting to support and heal and bring comfort to others and having that human intelligence. And even during this age of AI, we want to have that, love and compassion and human connection throughout it all, and just have that as something that enhances and supplements, what we're doing in our business and in our lives, but something that, is not taking over our life. We want, number one, that time freedom to be with our family and loved ones, because time is the most important thing that we have. And it's something that is really precious and important. And so I want to bring that freedom to people so they have more time freedom in this world. So I'd like to introduce Bethany Stone. She's a Montessori educator, a mindset coach. She's the founder of Thriving by Nature Coaching. And she has a speaker school as well. And she's a founder of the Authority Alliance community. She helps leaders, business owners, and growth mindset individuals build the human skills underneath sustainable success. With roots in Montessori philosophy, and my children went to Montessori in preschool as well, so I get the whole philosophy is really amazing. She has a lived experience in motherhood, leadership, and personal transformation. Bethany teaches what actually works: emotional awareness, authentic communication, values alignment, and the self-care practices that turn stress into groundedness. Her approach is grounded in will, and she encourages communication, authentic communication, emotional awareness, values alignment, and self-care practices that turn stress into groundedness. Her approach is grounded in what's real and not what sounds good. She speaks from the belief that leadership and business growth and lasting confidence are built on human skills first and systems second. Through the speakers, Bethany has trained emerging leaders and speakers to find their authentic voice, build trust with their audience, and grow their impact without compromise. In the Authority Alliance community, co-founded with Roy, she creates space for mission-driven leaders to deepen their impact together. Her work center to be able to who are tired of being in the hustle and grind, and they're ready for something deeper. She combines practical life skills with the mindset work that sticks. So her audiences and students leave not just inspired, but equipped with tools every day, especially on Monday mornings. So I'd like to introduce you to her. And and this is America's Business Coaching Accelerator Academy's Business Freedom and Legacy Summit 2026. And I'm Coach Jen Clark, America's Business Coach and America's Business Specialist. So we have businesscoachingamerica.com/summit if you'd like to register for this summit, and then be able to get the VIP upgrade as well. On that actual page, you can click on the VIP upgrade, and then you're going to get all the speaker bundles when you book a consultation with me at coachjenclark.com with an E at the end. All right, Bethany, so tell me a little bit about what you'd like to talk about today regarding the Business Freedom and Legacy Summit event.
So, one of my keynotes that I deliver quite a bit to business owners is called The Invisible Burn. And it's talking about how we show up all the time. We do so much, but yet something underneath just weighs on us. So, do you mind if I have a slideshow that goes with my presentation? Do you mind if I share that?
The only thing is, if there's one time we had somebody share a presentation, and if AI picks up that there's anything that's not 100% original, it'll ask us to take it down right away. So I guess if it's possible, could we just have a conversation about it and you could take a look at the slide?
We can
Okay.
definitely do that. Yeah.
Okay.
I actually uploaded my slideshow if we wanted to pull it up.
Okay.
So
sounds good. Okay.
But
maybe we could talk about it instead. Just be on the safe side.
I love that.
Okay.
Because I just love there's a picture in there that I love because it's me backpacking, but it's okay. But I want to talk about really what the invisible burn is, because the invisible burn is literally like we are showing up. As business owners, we are showing up. We're doing everything. We are showing up for our family. We're responding to our emails. We are not just responding to our emails, we are showing up at all the meetings. We're actively trying to do everything that we can. And a lot of us are being paid for it too. But then we still feel empty inside. We still are like, why am I doing this? And it doesn't matter how much sleep you're getting. It doesn't matter how much nutrients, exercise, whatever you're doing, you still feel empty. And that is what I like to refer to as the invisible burn, because this is something that a lot of business owners, we really are dealing with. And it's not something that's being talked about a lot. So that's what I really want to talk about, because it's, we are being successful, but why do we still have this? Why is that still there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's something that we're all struggling with, I think, because there's a lot of, even fatigue from just everything that's happened with everything going online, and now technology is changing so fast, it's hard to keep up with it all. So it can be exhausting and draining for sure.
Yeah, because when our emotional energy is completely depleted or deleted, either one, we feel both of those.
Mm-hmm.
That's when we start feeling foggy. And that's when we really don't just start feeling foggy, we feel unclear. We feel like we're spinning. We don't actually know what the next step is. And it's not because we don't know. It's because we're so emotionally depleted that we don't know how to approach it. And it's one of those things where not everyone sees it. Most people won't see it. We show up. We look like we are on top of the world, that we have everything. But it really is just the pressure, like the deadlines, the constant responsibility. We held so much mental load, and decision fatigue is real because we make hundreds of decisions a day.
Mm-hmm.
Emails, messaging, calls, approvals, strategy, tactical problems. Our brains really don't ever stop working.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we have 17 different browsers open. I don't know if anyone has more than that. Sometimes we do, right?
Definitely.
There's a lot that we are putting on our plate, and it weighs on us. It really does.
Yeah. And I think the decision fatigue is real because even yesterday I had to make a decision on a name for something. And then my husband even said, "Oh, I thought you always say that successful people are fast decision makers and they make decisions quickly," because I was hemming and hawing over the name. But it actually worked out to be really well because I came up with a new word to go with that name. So it was sometimes making fast decisions is great, but also sometimes doing a little bit of research is good as well. But the decision fatigue is definitely there for entrepreneurs for sure, because they're having to make so many decisions several times a day. So do you have recommendations for business owners on decision fatigue and what to do regarding that?
Well, I think first we have to really understand that this is not a motivation problem. And it's not a discipline problem and it's not a character problem. I think first thing before you can even decide what you need to do, you have to really understand that this is not a you issue. This is not because you're broken. This is not because you have a problem. This is really what is called a systems problem. It's you didn't fail, your systems failed. And that, I think, is what we really have to understand, is that we are not failing, our systems are failing. And you have to give yourself that permission to look at things differently and lead differently, because you don't have to keep running on empty. You have to really understand that you have to have the right systems in place to be able to not experience that. And that's why I wanted to show this picture. So now we just have to imagine this in our brains. The picture I wanted to show you. So I will tell it to you. We're just going to pretend land for a minute. Because the cool thing is when you are planning a backpacking trip, okay? It's just a little bit of story time right now. When you plan a backpacking trip, you have to plan everything you need for how long you're going to go.
Mm-hmm.
So you have one bag and you are going to be without instant resources, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to make sure that you're going to bring enough water or have a water filtration system. You're going to make sure that you map out your route. You have to make sure that you have enough daylight and you're going to be scheduling out your hike during enough time. First aid, sleeping, your tent. You need to have little shovels. You need to have something to protect yourself because there's wild animals. You need to have you bringing bear spray? What are you bringing here? There are things that you have to plan. And if you do not pack that pack correctly and you go where you're all by yourself and it is you and whatever you've packed, are you going to be successful on this adventure? Are you going to feel great? Are you going to have enough calories? Are you going to sustain yourself enough to be able to make it through this stretch? And we have to think about that. Did you plan for that?
Mm-hmm.
And that is just what it's like owning a business.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we have to think about what are we putting in our pack and what do we already have in our pack and what skill sets and what things do I need to add to my pack so this can be successful. There are times where I'm like, oh, I need to go get this and I have to go purchase a new something for my pack so it can be better. You have to prepare yourself, whether that is, this is weighing too much on me and I know I need to delegate this piece. This is not something that I should be taking on because this is weighing me down. Or, did I strategize enough? Did I make this so that it actually makes sense and is transferring to my clients?
Mm-hmm.
And something that we don't understand and we don't put enough emphasis on is that sometimes we think, I don't know if this is my husband's thought process here. He thinks that being an ultralight packer is the best thing ever and that bringing a lot of gear is weakness. But I can tell you every single time my pack actually weighs about the same as his. And bringing gear is not weakness. So bringing skills and asking for support and bringing in people into your circle is not weakness. And sometimes we think that support is failure,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not.
Mhm.
We think that taking breaks in our lives is laziness, but it's not.
Mhm.
Like there is strength under this pressure. That's where the
Mhm.
pressure lies, is understanding that this pressure is there, recognizing it and preparing for it and knowing your fear and being able to add to it when you need to.
I love that analogy because my husband loves hiking. So he introduced me to that when we were first married many years ago. And yeah, I remember one time we went up this really tall mountain and he had this 80 some pound backpack on his back and he had more than enough for us. So he was thinking ahead. He had this beautiful picnic planned so we could have it at the top of the mountaintop, but we barely used anything that was actually in the backpack.
Mhm.
But we could have probably been there for days and it would have been okay. So I love
But
that.
I have been on a backpacking trip and I actually took out. I was like, oh, I don't need to take, so I always pack extra first aid kits, like extra first aid stuff, right? And one of the things I always pack is KT tape. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it's like that tape. So if you're having things like that, you can pack that and it can help support that. Well, I'm like, oh, I have been exercising. I am solid. I do not need to take this. I do not need to take this tape. I took it
Mhm.
out of my bag and I went on this trail and my plantar fasciitis, all these weird things that happen as you get old, really started bothering me. And that's a bad thing because if you keep exercising that and that snaps, that is a surgery. And I'm like, oh my goodness. I could have just had one piece of tape and taped myself and not have had this problem. Instead, I had to walk very carefully and cautiously the rest of the time, worrying that I was going to injure myself just because I thought I could make myself, do it without it.
Mhm.
And I wish I
Mhm.
would have had it. Like,
Mm.
we do these things to ourselves.
And is that like a lack of self-care and a lack of putting yourself first, putting the oxygen mask on yourself first before everyone else? Is that one of the
It's
reasons?
it's very much so the idea that we don't understand the cost of our systems and what happens if we ignore what we already know. So many of us know, we really do, but we ignore it. We purposely ignore it because sometimes it takes a little bit more effort or it's just not, in our neuron pathway to be able to do that perfectly. So we just kind of ignore it, but there is a real cost at ignoring it. And the cost is you're going to have fatigue. Like just the invisible burn, the entire thing. Here's the cost of ignoring it. You have the fatigue. And it's not just the regular tired fatigue. This is literally like the bone deep fatigue. Your body is running on your stress hormones at this time.
Mhm.
And instead of real fuel, you are getting sick. And that's the number one thing. The number two thing is that you start losing clarity. Where you used to see solutions, you don't see them anymore. Now everything looks like a problem. Doesn't matter if you're offline, online, whatever. You get in reactive mode and you cannot see the trees through the forest or the forest through the trees. There's an analogy. I can't remember what it is. But also, you become so emotionally exhausted. So, this is the third one, that you have nothing left to give because your idea was that if you keep giving of yourself, eventually it's going to come back to you. But what that does is just leaves you guilty that you're not able to show up anymore, which is another level of exhaustion, and also makes it so that you have nothing left to give. And then the fourth one that shows up is resentment. And this is something that people do not warn you about because resentment can start within your business. You started a business that you wanted to do because you loved it. And then all of a sudden, you start resenting it. But you resent the decisions that got you here because it felt like it's costing you everything. Those are what the cost is. And what you were asking me, yes, after you recognize the cost, it is about self-care.
Mm-hmm.
Because you cannot fix anything unless it starts with you. Because that is where the shift really happens, when you can recognize that you're experiencing invisible burn, that it has to start for you. And self-care is not bubble baths. It's not always meditation or taking vacation. Self-care is literally a leadership skill, and people don't talk about that, because our jobs are to make decisions, to create visions, to hold complexity, and to stay steady when other people are feeling anxious. That's really what we need to do. But if we are experiencing that invisible burn, that's not even possible to do if you are depleted.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Definitely. And if you're depleted, then you're not able to create that legacy, that business for the long haul that you're really wanting to create, because then you're having to focus on other things that are not conducive to your whole lifestyle. Because now, like you said, if someone has to try to figure out how to heal from everything that they've gone through, that's going to cost a lot of more time and money and effort and resources than if they were to take care of themselves all along as they're building their business and creating that legacy for their family and those that are around them. So I love the fact that you're thinking ahead with having that backpack filled with everything that you need. So even though I remember my husband having everything in that backpack, it was 80 some pounds, going up that mountain, but I knew we were going to be taken care of no matter what happened. Even if
Yeah.
you're stuck out there for days, you're going to be having enough for that. So I think that in that sense, being over prepared at times can actually be of benefit, whether you end up needing it or not. Similar to your situation, even if you didn't need that tape, but having it there, just in case, I think would have been beneficial to you for the long haul, because
Yes.
you obviously had a lot of suffering and, pain and issues after the fact. So that's a great analogy for business. I love that. So I think what you're trying to say is think about the end in mind first, right? Start from there. Where do you want to be with your business, with your legacy, with the freedom you want to create for yourself and family and others, and then work your way backward. So how would you let the audience know regarding that? Like, what are the steps to be able to get there to that ultimate freedom that they're wanting to experience?
Well, when you take care of yourself, that's the number one thing. It is shifting your thought process. When you take care of yourself and when you prioritize rest, movement, time with people you love, you're not being selfish. You are doing actually the most important work. You are maintaining the infrastructure. And that infrastructure is what allows everything else to happen. Because if you do not have that infrastructure, you do not have the the bag to carry all the supplies. They're just scattered everywhere. You have to have the infrastructure put in place. And that looks like building that foundation. And that foundation is based off of life skills, off of self care.
Mhm.
You mentioned, I come from a Montessori background, and Montessori education is all about creating that intrinsic motivation to do it for you and creating the skill set to support you as a whole human, to take care of yourself, to manage your time, to how to move your body, to be present with the other person. And somehow along the way, we literally forget that. We move into adulthood thinking that we should just know this, or we can just ignore those little skills that we learned, but it's not true. So there are five, I like to call them the 5 buckets of self care. And these are the 5 areas that you must really fill of yourself to be able to move forward. And you need to start with the first one, because each one of them, and the reason why I like to call these buckets is because they pour in. They are the 5 domains of human, well, they're the 5 domains of human development. They literally are. Like, if you are able to fill these 5 domains, those are the concrete foundational pieces for us to move forward. And the first one, first bucket, because we're going to go visuals here, is your emotional self-care. Emotional awareness and emotional intelligence are 2 different things. And if you do not have the emotional intelligence, which most of us actually have, that is the extrinsic. So how you respond to me, the body language. Oh, this person wants to end the conversation. They're done. Okay. Most of us have that. Now, what most of us do not have is the emotional awareness piece. How are you feeling? And this is why we become and get to that point of the invisible burn, because we don't have the emotional awareness piece, and that's the intrinsic piece. How do I feel? How is this making me feel about this? And when we can understand our emotions and be able to really center ourselves and realize that that does not make me feel good, then you can take your emotional awareness and the things that you know and pour into the next bucket, which is your values. Understanding your values. A lot of clients that I'll meet with, they do not understand their values. We have a lot of business owners that are thinking, oh, I saw this person make money doing that, so that's now what I'm going to do. But it's not grounded to who they are. So it's not centered with who they are and who they want to be. So they're not responding and reacting to the core. And if you don't, you're not going to sell anything. You're just going to be spinning and spinning and spinning. You have to do something that is grounded, identical to who you are. And when you have your values, that then pours into your physical, which is your center bucket. And your physical self-care is movement. Everyone needs to move. Not every movement needs to be the same. We don't all need to run. We don't all need to do yoga. But we need to find something that fills us, whether that is a hobby. We need to have a movement in our life. Then that pours into your communication. You need to be able to communicate. You need to be able to have that social interaction. You need to be able to fill of yourself in a way that when you fill of yourself, you fill others. You need to have that. You need to have relationships and conversations that you leave and you're like, I feel awesome. I am so glad I did that. You need to have that in your life. Then you have intellectual. That is your last area. So these are the 5. The last area is intellectual. You need to continue to grow. You need to continue to learn. You need to continue to move forward. And how do you do that? What do you love? So many people will question, I got done with college. I guess I'm done learning. And they don't even pick up a book. I've talked to people that haven't read a book in like 20 years. I'm like, what? You're not reading a book? I don't think I could live my life without reading a book. Something. You have to keep growing and keep moving forward. Having something. Oh, I want to cook a new recipe. What does that look like? Oh, you know what? I think I would like to learn how to paint. Oh, I think I'd like to learn how to do this. Having something to continually strive towards is a lifelong gift if you can really nurture that. So those are the 5 areas that if you do not want to experience these invisible burns and you want to fill your backpack correctly, that you need to be filling in each of these buckets so that you have the right tools in place so that you don't experience that, because that is your foundation. That is your backpack.
Definitely. And I think I just read this a few days ago that over 60% of the solution is just knowing what the issue is and writing it down, and that will solve the majority of whatever it is you're facing. So having those things, like you said, in those 5 areas written down of what we truly love to do and enjoy. For instance, my husband and I love golfing and, pitch and putt and, different types of things, e-biking and, writing those things down of what you'd like to do and try to have something like that every day to be able to, release the stress and enjoy life and have fun every single day. Because that's the reason why we're building our businesses, for freedom and legacy, not just in the future, but now that we can enjoy it today. So I love that. And so are there certain aspects of these 5 areas that you spoke about that you're incorporating into your life to make sure that you're life is balanced and that your business is thriving so that you can keep moving forward and have those ultimate goals seen, and then each day having those daily goals accomplished as well.
Yes, I think that we don't give enough emphasis to small habits create big shifts. Like, we do not put enough emphasis on that.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to really make some big shifts in your lives, I know that it really does sound cliched, but that's the truth. You need to build consistency with who you are first. Because consistency builds trust with yourself. And a lot of the times our nervous systems are out of whack because we have been doing so much for everyone else for so long. And because we've been doing that, we don't even trust ourselves. We can take journaling prompts and we start questioning if that's the right answer, even though nobody's going to read it. We don't even trust ourselves. And so, something that I did a long time ago when I actually decided that this was the framework, because this is totally Montessori stuff. This is all Montessori stuff. But applying it to me as an adult and adapting it is what has shifted it. Because I can teach it all day long to, pre-K up to 12th grade, all day long. But then applying it to yourself and seeing that, wow, why are they like so on top of it and doing so good? And it's the skills that they've been taught. And what we've taught them is that you have to build yourself first by creating small habits. So I created what is called a Better Me list. And when I started this list, for me, it was only 3 things. And it was just 3 simple things. I knew that if I did these things every single day, I would be a better person. And so my very first 3 things I ever put on my list was drink water. Drink water. Come on, Bethany. You can do this, right? Drink water. The second one was take my vitamins. How many days do I just not take my vitamins? They're simple. And then the third one was make my bed. Honestly, we think that these things are so huge and so big, but it is the little tiny things that compound and compound, because guess what? When I write this down every day. I write down a Better Me list. I actually have 23 things on my Better Me list now. And I would keep adding as these things became habits in my life. And I'm filling these buckets by doing these things, because that's what you do to fill these buckets. Drinking water, that is definitely physical self-care. And are we drinking enough water? Taking my vitamins. I don't know why this was so hard for me, but I feel so much better. I just need to do it. It's just like it takes like less than 30 seconds. Why do I not do this? Making your bed does not take long. Why did I not? But I have for years. But it was these little things that compound, and everyone's list is different. Like, there isn't just a one size fits all. What you need to do is just take a step back and look at things and be like, okay, what are the baby things that I know I need to be doing that I'm not doing? Those are your foundational pieces. Because when you can do the baby things that we know, and hold yourself accountable for them, it changes. It changes the way that you look at it. And now they become a priority. And when those baby things become a priority and they are foundational pieces of who you are, guess what? You can build a better on top of that, even more. You can build more and more. Because those little things that you were letting slip through the crack that you thought didn't matter, those were the things that were weighing on you and were actually making you emotionally exhausted. It's crazy. But when you rip it all apart, those are the things that are actually going to hold you up.
It's the little things that we forget about that's the most important. We all know these things, but do we actually implement them and actually follow through with them? So that's where the accountability aspect of it, and that's where we need each other, to be able to remind each other that these things that seem small are really the most important aspects of our life. And so that if we're well hydrated and well rested and we're able to have, our nervous system balanced and regulated, that we're able to do and accomplish a lot more and go a lot further in life. So that's something that a lot of people are talking about lately, is nervous system regulation and balancing the nervous system. Is there an aspect to, I think I saw in your presentation that you want to talk about that as well? So how does that relate to having, freedom in people's businesses and in their life, and being able to sustain that for the long haul, especially with all the technology that we're, being inundated with every day, and how fast technology is changing? How can business owners regulate their nervous system and balance it even during this age of AI and technology taking over in many areas?
Our nervous systems are amazing. And I think that we don't understand how they work. All of a sudden, we just become reactive, or we just become hormonal, or we just become frustrated so quick. And it goes back to that emotional piece, that emotional awareness piece. It goes back to understanding where you stand, and also what is affecting you and what isn't affecting you. We have to have those emotional pieces put in place. And some of the things, something that I teach quite a bit is something called a vicious cycle. And I sent you my women's presentation this is a totally different one, but this is so applicable for this. So there is a cycle that people talk about called the vicious cycle. And so many people do not realize that this vicious cycle plays such a massive part in every aspect of what you do. And we get caught in this vicious cycle. So we're going to pretend again, and I'm going to just draw this out. Because when you understand this vicious cycle, then you can understand a virtuous cycle. And we don't talk about a virtuous cycle as often. But a vicious cycle is that negative thought, because as soon as you're having that negative thought, you are triggering your nervous system. And you are triggering your cortisol levels. You are triggering everything in your body that is just going to start firing. And that negative thought changes the entire way that your body shows up. One negative thought connects with your body, because our brains and our bodies are completely connected. So what we think, our bodies will do. So if you have that negative thought, your body all of a sudden, and this is the beginning of the cycle, negative thought. Next part, body language. Your body is going to hunch down. You are going to start looking at the ground. You are going to be closed in. And you're going to you're going to look like a beat dog, honestly. That's kind of what the look kind of looks like. And I know that we've seen this with people.
Mm-hmm.
And then people are going to start asking you, hey, are you doing okay?
Mm-hmm.
That is a very sure sign that you are in a vicious cycle. If people are asking you and giving you that sympathy, hey, are you doing okay? You very much so are there. Because the next thing is that we are going to lie. That is the next thing. We lie.
Mm-hmm.
We say, yes, I'm fine. How are you? We lie. Totally lie. But this vicious cycle keeps going. So now it's shown in our body language. Now people can actually see it. That negative thought has come down. The next piece of what this vicious cycle looks like is that all of a sudden we just kind of start drifting. Things just don't matter as much to us anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next piece is that we just stop taking care of ourselves as much. All those things about drinking water, I don't really need to drink that much. It's so much effort to go get a cup of water.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so much effort, right? But at the moment, it really is. It's heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just don't take care of ourselves at all. And then we start, after we don't take care of ourselves right here, the next piece is that we don't see how to get out of this.
Mm-hmm.
We feel trapped. And so we think that we should start binge watching Netflix to have some self-care, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all we're doing is closing off people and closing in even more.
Mm-hmm.
So now we've closed off relationships. We're not taking care of ourselves. So we've closed off relationships. Here's the next piece as we're going up. Now we can't see how to get out of this at all. Every single bit of our clarity is gone. We're walking through the fog. We are spinning around. We're not reaching any of our goals. And guess what that leads to? Another negative thought.
Mm-hmm.
This is what happens continually. And we do not talk about how that works. But that is why our nervous systems are completely fried, because we're living in a negative world.
Mm-hmm.
We're living in a world that is inundated with you're not good enough. You're going to fail. That's not going to work. No one's going to buy that. We are in that is constant, constant, constant. And here's the thing about our nervous systems. We are supposed to experience that. We're going to be in that negative, vicious cycle, and we're supposed to be there multiple times. We're going to be there. Here is that emotional awareness piece. The difference is recognizing it. There's so many times I get clear too. I don't even want to drink my water or take my vitamins anymore, right? And that is enough for me, because I've created a foundational piece in place to know, whoa, 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 whoa. I don't want to be here. I need to jump. And you can then jump. You can jump. And you can jump into a virtuous cycle. You can do that. And a virtuous cycle is very different. And we'll talk about the steps to get in there, because all it is nervous system regulation, the awareness piece, and making that choice, because we do have a choice. And it shows that with a virtuous cycle, because the very first part of a virtuous cycle is, guess what? A positive thought. And guess what else? A positive thought is nearly impossible to have when you are in a funk. You're like, yeah, I'm not happy. No, go away. We are not having that positive thought. But with the knowledge that our bodies and our minds are connected, if I cannot have that positive thought, my body can act it, and I can choose that. And it takes 120 seconds. That is 2 minutes for that signal, that neurological signal, to go to your brain. So if you can choose, I may not be thinking it. I may be thinking lots of not awesome things right now. But if I can choose to sit up tall, keep my head up, and put my head up, take some deep breaths, and choose to have a positive body language, guess what? That body is then going to change the thought process of my mind. And pretty soon I'm going to start thinking, this is actually a really beautiful day. This is really nice. And it just takes that one moment, but it takes that awareness piece, because when you're consciously doing that, you are re-regulating your nervous system. And when you can re-regulate your nervous system, and you can feel that, and you can breathe that, and you can just feel the blessings that you have in that moment, it changes. And then guess what? The virtuous cycle begins. Now, you have a positive thought and your body shows it. Now you feel like smiling. And your body language stands up without you even trying to do it. It automatically does that. You're like, wow, this is awesome. And guess what? Then you feel like taking care of yourself. You know what? I think I'll go for a walk today. I'll have an extra glass of water and maybe a vitamin C, whatever it is. You feel it. And then it keeps going forward, and you don't just feel it. Now you want to connect with others. You know what? Let's collaborate on this. Hey, could I, don't know, what is the word? Scratch your brain? I don't think that's the word. Scratch your brain? Pick your brain.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't want to scratch anyone's brain. Could I pick your brain on this? And you want to connect with others, and you want to have that connection and that collaboration, and you want to be there for your family. You're not hiding. You want to do things. You want to come out, and guess what else happens? You start seeing clarity. And my boys, they call it mom magic, but there's a piece when you're in here, and I'm sure that every business owner has experienced this, where you have so many puzzle pieces all over the ground, and you know how to put them all together. and you are in a virtuous cycle.
Mm-hmm.
You are there. Your nervous system is regulated. You are seeing this. You are there. And my boys call this mom magic because I'm there when I'm doing dinner because I can make dinner, get laundry in, and get the dishwasher going all at the same time. It is magic, and that's what it looks like. It's like all these things are happening at one time, and you're not even stressed. It's just
Mm-hmm.
music. It's perfect. It
Mm-hmm.
just works. And then guess what? You see how to reach your goals, and you reach them, and
Mm-hmm.
then you continue. Now, just like I said, we're supposed to go like this.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is recognizing it and understanding your nervous system and understanding that this is not where I want to be. And these are signs that I put in place because I know what I should be doing every day. And as soon as I'm feeling like I shouldn't be doing them,
Mm-hmm.
where am I? Am I in a place where I should be like moving into another cycle? Because sometimes we don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
If you
Yes.
create that foundational piece and you start recognizing it, all of a sudden you're like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I am here. I
Mm-hmm.
need to do something about this because I don't want to stay here because I know what's coming next and I don't want that.
Mm-hmm. And so with the 23 items that you focus on, is it similar to a checklist that you have for yourself each day to
Kind of.
ensure these things? Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So some of the things that should I read you some of the things on my
Yeah, that would
list?
be great. I'm sure everyone wants to know what those 23 items are.
Okay. Go back to today. Okay. So of course I have well, I'll just read it as it goes. Okay. This is my better me list. Clean eating, make my bed, take my vitamins, drink water, 10,000 steps, exercise, family first, purposeful phone use, gratitude, scripture study, personal prayer, reach out to a friend, time on a hobby, do my challenge. I always put myself in a challenge. Clean my room. So I always want to make sure my room looks super clean. Read 10 pages. Plan my day with intent. Food journal. Try to learn something new. Document that. Show Reed some love. That's my husband. So I'll leave like little, we have these like, those dry erase crayons. I don't know if you've seen them. You can get them on Amazon. And in the middle of our bathroom, like we have, the two sinks and everything, I have a cup of those dry erase crayons. And every day I try to think of a little note. And so I'm up before him. So I always put a new note and he puts a note for me. And it's really cool because, you talk about affirmation. Oh, affirmations is on here too. Sorry, I
Mm-hmm.
got distracted.
Okay.
Anyways, but it's so cool when somebody else can give you affirmations
Mm-hmm.
as
Yes.
well. And so that's something that those are things that are on my better me list. And they're
That's
simple. They're
wonderful.
things that we know, things
Yeah.
we should be doing every day. They're not crazy, intense things.
Mm-hmm.
These are just things that take seconds. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that when you look at it like that, that these things take seconds.
Mm-hmm. 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 And how do you get those 10,000 steps in every day as a business owner? Is that something you just keep like a pedometer on you and you're walking throughout the house as well? Okay.
I have a walking treadmill right here.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a desk treadmill. And then I actually go on walks quite a bit in the evening and I run. So actually, there's so many days I don't even turn on this treadmill ever because I will have run in the morning. So, there's some truth to be said that when you turn 40, you either pick up sourdough or running. I don't know. But I picked up running.
Okay.
But I've been running for a long time and it's something I really love. And so on days that I run, I don't have a problem because I
Mm-hmm.
work out early in the morning. But on some days when I have a lot of heavy work, and we have days where we're like today, I wasn't able to go to the gym today.
Mm-hmm.
I only have 526 steps. I do not have 10,000 steps. I'll probably be on this for today. But this is how life is. We cannot plan everything perfectly. But yet we can set up our environment. And that's another piece that I talk about quite a bit is our environments play a very crucial role in our success. I have this here for those days. I have this treadmill here for today. Like, set your environment up for success. And when you can set up your environment for success, then you can move forward. But if I don't have this treadmill here, what if I wasn't able to go on a walk tonight with my friend? What if am I going to be able to reach my goals? Like, you set up your environment. Now, after I get my steps in, and really, it doesn't take very long. I mean, you get lost in a project, you get lost in something, and you're like, wow, that was 15,000 steps. Holy crap.
Wow.
I should probably just stop. I mean, it's not uncommon for me to have 20,000 steps. And people are like, do you feel like it's so hard to work at home? Do you feel like you're not moving enough? I'm like, I don't feel that. I don't feel that. But it's because I've set my environment up for that.
Okay, awesome. That is so great. And so how does that relate to your long-term goals? Now, with regards to, because we were talking about, let's start with the end in mind with the backpack analogy. And now we're talking about those daily habits that will, help us stay grounded and have a, balanced and regulated nervous system while we are building our businesses and creating that legacy. How does that relate to everything in the greater grand perspective of building your business freedom and legacy with regarding those daily action steps that you're taking?
I love this because it is about building your business, your freedom, and your legacy. That is the foundation of doing so. It starts with you. It doesn't start with buying the most expensive program. It doesn't start with, finding the perfect niche. It starts with you. Because if you are not showing up for yourself, how are you supposed to show up for anyone else? How are you supposed to create a legacy? How are you supposed to move anything forward? And we are in such an extrinsic environment where we feel like if I'm not getting the thumbs up and the likes and the comments and all of this extrinsic motivation, my worth isn't there. If I'm not getting that, then I have nothing. Which is, we should actually be really thinking about the other side of that. Guess what? I got content out today. Woo! I win. You know what? I don't care if anyone likes it or anyone even sees it. I did it. I did this today. That was awesome. You know what? I made sure that I hit every single follow-up email. I did that. That was awesome. It's not about all the time the feedback, because you have to look at the other side where most people are so afraid to even engage anymore. People are afraid to engage. People are afraid to connect. And so there's a lot of watchers, so many watchers. And if you're doing what you know you need to be doing, and it's completely respondent and reacting directly to who you are, they're going to watch you. They may not say anything, but you're making impact and you're building your business and you didn't even know it. The difference is showing up for yourself and doing it for you.
Definitely. And I think that's one key aspect of what's missing, because there's so many people that have, this idea that they want to heal the world and impact the world for, a great way of being in every gift and calling and treasure that they have inside of them to be released to the world to, basically save the world. I hear so many clients that just want to help as many people as possible, which is wonderful. But it's like putting that oxygen mask on everyone else and forgetting to put it on themselves. And so they serve and serve and serve, people that are in coaching and in the medical field and, social work and counseling and all these different areas, and people who are in acts of service every day, but they're not taking care of themselves. So then they're not able to do that for the long haul. And so that's something that is foundational to be able to create that legacy, is to go, if they want to be able to have this sustain for their whole life and for their children's life and grandchildren's life, they're going to need to do these daily actions and also keep that in mind with regards to having that backpack filled with everything that they're going to need along the way to get to that end goal. And so with regards to just how do you balance everything when there's so much to learn in technology and AI and systems, how does that relate to your daily habits of what you're doing with implementing those 5 different areas in your life, and then looking at it from the greater perspective as well?
So something I'm very blessed to have is that my husband actually works with AI and builds AIs.
Mm-hmm.
And so when one of the things on my list is that I learn something new every day. I actually went and got certified in AI so I would be able to understand it. And when you use AI as a tool, it is so different. It is an amazing tool that can definitely help you, but there is a stark difference here. A lot of people are just going in very blind, and when they go in blind, they're just using it for basically their brain. They're losing themselves, and they're losing their value, and they're losing everything about what they need to be doing because of AI,
Mm-hmm.
which is the opposite. AI is an amazing tool, and you use it as a tool. I have my AIs set up, and I only use 2, and I don't need more than 2. There's so many of them out there,
Mm-hmm.
but I know exactly what I need support in certain areas. I need some support in sometimes writing and clarity, and I need a good sounding board. Guess what? That AI is going to be Claude.
Mm-hmm.
I know these things because I went and my husband does this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very good because I can also put in there, I do not want you to sugarcoat anything. I want you to never give me any prompts. I want you to question me on every single thing that I do to make sure I'm seeing all the angles. That is how you use AI. If you're using AI to be like, oh, and here's this prompt. Oh, and here's this prompt, you lose yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so easy to lose yourself. But when you think of AI as it's literally code, it is not a person. This is ones and zeros. And it's designed to stroke your ego, to make you feel like you are the best thing ever, to make you think like you're the most intelligent person that has ever been. But that is not true. It's designed to do that. It is code. So you have to use it as a tool, knowing what it is, using your emotional awareness piece, knowing that this is not the end all. This is a tool that you can use to delegate issues, delegate things, and support you, not build what you're trying to build.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think oftentimes we're giving up that decision making to AI, and that can be a trap as well because it's actually prompting us at times, right? So you can go down that rabbit hole for a long time if you keep going into the prompting. I think once you get like that key piece of information that you're looking for or needing, and then just kind of leave it at that, and then decide based on your own intuition, your own knowledge, your human intelligence, I think is going to be really important to be able to combine the two. That way, just get a couple of nuggets of what you need from it and then expand upon it with your own human intelligence. Because if you just 100% rely on it to make every decision and to prompt you, it just can get overwhelming. And I can see how people get sucked into it, talking to it all night long, or making huge life decisions because of it. I think it's just something that is just a good supplement as a tool for our lives, but not something that we should completely give everything over to, because we need, like you mentioned, that human touch where we're connecting with others and having relationships with others and being able to really have a sounding board as well with other humans, not just the AI as well. So I love that fact that you have just 1 or 2 that you go to and that's it, just to get a few things from it. But then the majority of what you're doing is based on your own human intelligence, emotional awareness, intuition, to be able to have that, to sustain you for the long haul. And I think that that's something that everyone needs to realize, is that we need to realize that it's just a tool. It's not something, like you said, they're ones and zeros. They don't have, human DNA, and they don't have the human intelligence and emotional intelligence perspective of it. So I love that you're bringing that to light, because it's something that can be easily, we can easily go down that trail of just giving everything over to that, and that's something I think people are concerned about. And I think even recently they're putting together a summit with all the people that are creating AI, or people that are working for those companies, saying, can we do something right now to put in place to slow down how quickly everything is going? Because they're seeing behind the scenes how quick and how fast everything's progressing, that they're really concerned about it. So is that something that you've thought of as well, of how to, slow all of that down in your own life and business, and
Yeah.
know,
So
yeah,
when
to
I
add?
do use AI, it very much so is there to ask me questions. Like that is, I will put in my idea. I'm like, I am thinking about this. I said, this is my idea, and I really think it's a great idea. These are the reasons why I think it's a good idea, and this is what I've already put in place. This is what I want it to look like. This is how I want to implement it. You're putting in all of this information, and then you say, can you ask me 50 questions that I may not be thinking about that could be related to this? And so instead of it giving me prompts, I'm giving it information
Mm-hmm.
and about my questions. This is about me. This is not about what it thinks that I should be doing. This is about me. And it changes the way that it also responds to you. Now, everything you give to the AI is just going to enhance it.
Mm-hmm.
There are some rules that I do just because I understand AI. Whereas, like for my Claude, I do not ever use my Claude is on my desktop. It is not just accessible. I don't just go to Claude.com.
Mm-hmm.
I have it central onto my desktop. So this is my information. I'm not going to be spreading this out to the whole world,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have to understand, and there's different things that if you do not understand how AI works, I really encourage you to go get AI certified. I
Mm-hmm.
really encourage you to actually really look into it. Yes, it is a great tool. And if you use it wrong, you're going to lose yourself in there. And I think we're going to see a very stark difference with the 1% earners and the um, bottom earners, because it's going to be the people that have given themselves away to the AI and have used it as their brain, and the people that have used AI as a tool. And I
Mm-hmm.
think we'll probably see more millionaires than we ever have before because of AI,
Mm-hmm.
because of
Mm-hmm.
people that understand how to use it like a tool.
Yeah. Definitely. And we've already seen that take place. This has been the greatest business building era of all time in the last few years. And I truly believe the same thing, that it's going to continue to go in that direction. And so there's so many people that are wanting to start their own business on the side, or, I'll go all in on a business. And I find that it's much easier than ever to be able to do that, to have a successful business. And so you mentioned also in your presentation regarding, self-care, but you also say something about not speaking harshly to yourself and speaking kindly to yourself. How does that relate to everything that we're experiencing? Because I know a lot of people are probably experiencing negative self-talk, or looking, like you said, online and seeing everyone else, having all these accomplishments and success, but they're not necessarily there yet. Is there something that you can share regarding, speaking kindly to yourself as well?
I think that there's something that is definitely can be understood as real affirmations. I think we're in a, trying to say this gently. I think that we are in an era where we have a lot of ideas that affirmations are going to bring us everything. And there's a difference between a true affirmation and a wish. And we are not talking about that. Being kind to yourself is recognizing your strengths and using those as your affirmations. Not, I am a millionaire tomorrow. I am a millionaire tomorrow. That is not a true affirmation. But we have people doing these visualizations, which I believe in visualization. I believe in doing that. But there are steps, and there's a reality piece that we need to start addressing.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts again with you.
Mm-hmm.
I am a good teacher.
Mm-hmm.
That is a good affirmation. That is good self talk.
Mm-hmm.
Good affirmations are positive self talk to yourself of things that you know are true about you,
Mm-hmm.
and finding things that you love about you and being able to say those to you.
Mm-hmm.
Having that, I have an entire list of things. I actually started writing in a book about all the things I have found that I actually love about myself,
Mm-hmm.
because we forget to love ourselves. We forget that we have things that we love about ourselves because we are so focused on the negative. We're
Mm-hmm.
so focused on, I wish I would lose 10 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
I wish that I was thinner. I wish this. I wish that. We're so focused on these wishes and the
Mm-hmm.
false affirmations that we have forgotten that if we actually want to progress and move forward, what do you know now?
Mm-hmm.
And using that and having that move you forward. I'm not a fast runner. I can run. Holy cow, I can run. That's awesome. Guess what? I'm really strong.
Mm-hmm.
I am so grateful I'm really strong, because there was a time where I was like not very strong. And now I go to the gym and I'm like, I think I'm lifting more weight than him. Holy crap. I'm like, wow, I'm really strong. I mean, these things that you can find about yourself that you know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
hold on to those. That is your positive thought. Those are your affirmations.
Mm-hmm.
Use those to build you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't hold on to things that aren't there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, I drank a lot of water. I lost a half a pound. That's awesome. Like, you don't have to live in wishes. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like we're in a world of wishing.
Yes. Yeah, I know. Because I think I went into that kind of idea of thinking many years ago when the whole, think positive, speak positive. But if that worked for everyone, because we all know that that's it's a common kind of theme among all philosophies and ideas, all around the world. But if that worked for everyone, everyone would be doing well and doing, amazing. But there's more to it. There's the subconscious things that we need to look at, that we need to bring out and put something better in there to start, retraining our subconscious. And then there's also, like you said, the daily habits of moving forward every day. So I think that moving forward every day is powerful, but also at the same time, you said having rest and being kind to yourself and taking time for, true health and relaxation, and taking time to really have that deep rest is really important to be able to do more in the future as well for the long haul, and to be able to realize that if you're not putting that oxygen mask on yourself, then how are you going to be there for everyone else for that long
Yeah.
haul, right? So it's really important. And I think even now more than ever, many people are realizing that they need to start to build and scale up their business for their family, to create that legacy, to create generational wealth, to be able to create charitable foundations, to be able to give to those that are in need, as well. That is one of the reasons why I do what I do, is to really encourage people to build up their business to the point that they have so much overflow and abundance that they could create charitable foundations, or be able to ensure their families and those that they love are being taken care of, for a lifetime. So is that something you and your husband focus on as well, as that legacy building for your children and family, and also charitable giving, and from the overflow and abundance that you're doing?
That's definitely something that we actually are working on. So last year we bought a plot of land, and that is where we are going to build. So it's 5.5 acres next to Yellowstone National Park. And so we're going to build my grandma home / retreat center there. right? And the reason why is because I do want to create that legacy. I want to create something that I can impact and support other people around me, number one. But number two, my kids, as they grow older, they get to come and be a part of this and witness this. And it's something that I can leave with them, something that they can continue on. Because the whole reason why I even switched my careers from teaching, I mean, I founded a school. I have been an educator for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I shifted my entire life because my son got sick with mitochondrial dysfunction.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about this, like, what if he's not able to walk again in the future? What if when he turns 40 years old and he isn't able to provide for his family?
Mm-hmm.
What if, there's these what ifs.
Yeah.
Because I lived this with him
Mm-hmm.
for 5 years. And yes, he's walking now. Yes, he's so much better, but he'll have this forever. We don't know when it's going to come, like, flare up. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if these variants are going to spread to more of his genes. Like, it's such an unknown. He's one of 2 people in the US that has this variant.
Wow.
Nobody knows anything. There's no studies happening. So how do I prepare for that? How do I prepare for my children's future? Because no matter what, no matter how old they get, yes, he's a young adult now,
Mm-hmm.
I'm always going to be mom.
Mm-hmm.
Always.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And having a plan to prepare and to bring them in and have them be able to be a part of something that I
Mm-hmm.
have created is it's so fulfilling. And plus, I want to give back. I
Mm-hmm.
want to create a space for people to actually understand these skills and implement them, to be able to understand these 5 domains of human development, to really feel of them.
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't understand, we
Mm-hmm.
are losing our thought processes to AI. We're losing,
Mm-hmm.
who we are.
Mm-hmm.
To
Mm-hmm.
come back to ourselves, to really understand ourselves and really feel that we can move forward with clarity, understanding, being in that virtuous cycle, understanding how to stay there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Understanding that is huge. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I want to be able to create for my kids. So,
That's
yes.
wonderful. Yeah, my husband and I created a retreat, a health and wellness retreat and conference center, and put on many, many retreats and conferences and summits and in-person workshops and events for many years with, hundreds of those with, many people coming to those. And then all of a sudden everything went virtual. So then I had to learn how to do all of this virtually. And at first I thought, wow, how am I ever going to learn this? But then now I'm loving it so much because there's a lot to it when you start a retreat center and build it up in person. There's a lot to that. So we can always be supportive to you to let what our experiences have been and how to really navigate it and make it successful. So I think that'll be really powerful because people do need to have a physical place to learn how to do all of these skills, how to enjoy life, have fun, have laughter in their life, and be able to get back to nature and really develop all of those areas that they need to be able to have a thriving and successful life and business. And so I know you have like a free gift as well. So if anyone wants to have all the speakers free gift bundles, if they go to businesscoachingamerica.com and register and book in a consultation, they're going to receive all the free gift offers as well. So is there a specific gift that you have for this event as well, Bethany?
I do. Actually, I have a life skill journal. So I have a journal on time management. And so it's just a life skill that we all need. And it's a beautiful journal. And I'm excited for it's cool because it is lessons. It's done out in lessons, whereas you can actually scan a QR code and have a lesson on time management
Mm.
and then answer some questions and really start to develop the skill. So that is my gift, and I'm excited to share that.
That's wonderful. I appreciate that. That'll be amazing because I think that journaling is something that we need to really incorporate into our life for many reasons, and including the one I mentioned earlier, where if you just write down what the issue is and figure it out, you're halfway or over halfway to the solution. So that'll be powerful and effective. So So I appreciate you, Bethany, coming on. Is there anything else that you wanted to go over with together today and to share with our audience before we kind of, wrap things up, to be able to let everyone know to come back on next Thursday? We're going to have this every Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific or 12 noon Eastern, or whatever time zone you're in between. So yeah, is there anything else that you'd like to go over with together today?
Just if you'd like to come check out more about what I do, you are welcome to come to my website, thrivingbynature.com, and you can see all about what I do. You can see about my youth speaker school. You can see even about the Authority Alliance if you are needing support in building who you are in your business and just having an educational platform to really explore that. There's also a link on my website for the Authority Alliance, and there's a link to schedule also a free clarity call with me so we can have a discussion and really see where you need to go.
Yeah, wonderful. I appreciate you so much, Bethany. And you're such an encouragement to so many people, and such a blessing to your family, to others, and even myself, and all of our team. Love working with you. You're amazing. And I really encourage you to keep moving forward and to create that legacy on that retreat center that you're wanting to create. And we all are hoping the best for your family to have perfect health and abundance and a really successful life together, and be able to enjoy, every moment. And so thank you for coming on today. And I appreciate everyone watching today. You can go to businesscoachingamerica.com/summit to register for this summit. And then it's also the same one, but /VIP-access. And then you'll get all of the speaker bundle pack that we have available for you. And then when you book in at americanbusinesscoach.com, we'll also have a lot more free gift offers for you there, as well as a business grant and many other free gifts for you. So thank you everyone for watching today. I appreciate you all. We are going to encourage you to have both the systems in place, which is something that's my specialty to do with your business, is to get everything in place with regarding your ideas and intellectual proprietary marketing ideas. And then everything is done with you, done for you. And we actually build out a business with you one-to-one. And so if you go to americanbusinesscoach.com or businesscoachingamerica.com, book in your consultation today. And we have a lot of free gift offers for you, including the speaker bundle pack as well. All right, everyone, have a wonderful day. Talk to you soon. Cheers. Blessings to everyone. Have a good week.